What's up, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. Time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into it now. I'm going to go ahead and put my grading scale up, and you know how this works. Whenever I introduce a book, I'm going to put the cover of that book on the grading scale so you can see how they all stack up against each other. So with that out of the way, let's get into the big two as we always do, starting with Superman Lost issue number 6. Pretty cool cliffhanger at the end of issue number 5. We had our little break, I guess, with night terrors. At least it feels like that because it feels like it's been forever since issue number 5. But basically we have Superman. He's lost on another planet right now. That planet has its own issues, has a population, has its own like doomsday kind of thing going on where the planet's in peril. There's like a rich elite who's taking advantage of it, whatever. And he's got a cast of characters that live with him on like a, I don't know, like a rebuilt version of his home farm over in Kansas, whatever. And one of those people is actually a Green Lantern, but she didn't grow up being a Green Lantern, so she doesn't really know like the code or what the heck a Green Lantern even is. So he's training her to become a Green Lantern. They kind of develop this relationship over time, and she becomes really jealous and wants to keep him where he is. And so she kind of plots behind his back on how to like slow his progress down so he's not going to be able to leave the planet and get back to, you know, Lois and our world. And so it's a pretty cool little reveal about, you know, how twisted she's become. She's trying to be a good person, but she's kind of overwhelmed with this grief and everything like that. So it's a cool battle between them and just Superman, you know, managing his power because he's actually not soaking up the right sun rays or whatever. And so he's kind of being depowered over time. And so he has to kind of overcome all this stuff as well. And he gets on this prototype kind of ship to finally get out of there, but he gets into a position where he might be taken out at the end. Now, of course, we know he doesn't, but this is just kind of like the drama of the story being told retroactively, and I thought it was pretty cool. So like Superman Lost, I'm actually having a great time reading this book. If you've been missing this book, pick it up in trade. It's a really cool thing, so check it out. Next, we have Batman and Robin issue number 1. I got this, I don't know, bunny art germ cover right here. She's actually in the story. She's some kind of a henchman. I don't think they really explain exactly what's going on. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see anything I show you because it's probably going to be blown out by all this weird lighting that they put into this book. It's really kind of interesting. I like it and I don't like it at the same time. I can't imagine how long it would take to like digitally do all this. And so, you know, mad props to the talent that it takes, but it's not necessarily my style, to be honest with you. It's just like too much. There's just too much light perspective, light angles in here. But again, it's kind of like pleasing at the same time. So props to them for doing that. I think DeMeo is on the art for this. So where are we here? Basically, Batman and Damian are living together at this point. They're getting a new house. They're trying to put up appearances right now, like Bruce Wayne and Damian needs to like go to school and Bruce has to do whatever Bruce has to do. And so Damian's always looking at the angle. He's like, oh, great. Yeah, I'll go to school. But like, you know, what's my undercover persona? What's all this? And he's like, no, dude, you need to like have your childhood back. And so they're having this conversation about trying to bring some like normalcy into their life. This is actually happening alongside of the, what is it, like the Gotham something that's going on right now between Selina and Bruce. She's developed a way to like reduce the crime rate in Gotham right now. And so Batman's, you know, fighting with the Bat family right now to figure out what's like the moral path that we take here. Who knows? Damian stepped up. He's aligning with Batman. And here we are. So, you know, this issue here is more of like a day in the life of their normal personas. And then they actually get to run in and try to solve this mystery that's going on right now. Some people are being targeted. They're going after them. And some cool henchmen show up. And yeah, we get some fights. So, you know, that's pretty much it. I don't know. What do you guys think of Batman and Robin? Let me know. Next, we have Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. Man, this book was incredible. Admittedly, I had no idea that there were 2 different versions of this book. There's a noir version, which is black and white, and there is presumably a regular colored version. Me, knowing my taste, I'm grabbing the noir black and white version all day. I can skip the coloring, to be honest with you, because we get that all the time. And I want to see like black and white art sketches. And so that's exactly what we get inside of here. This is a earlier Batman. This is not like a year 1, maybe like a year, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Who knows? If you guys know for sure, let me know in the comments. But this is certainly a Batman where he's still trying to figure things out. Alfred's giving him like advice on how to make his technology better, like his suit or his boots or his Batmobile, whatever, just better, because they're learning from all these battles that they're going through right now. And they're dealing with this villain that's like really demented. He's like obsessed with this weird cartoon, this like olden day cartoon. And he's like crying while he's committing his murders or his torture and things like that. And Batman's really have to put on like the detective cowl and figure out what exactly is going on, teaming up with Gordon and the Gotham City Police trying to figure out what's going on. The villain's kind of weird looking. I don't know. He like matches the aesthetic, but also doesn't at the same time. I would have liked maybe just a different view of that. And there's still a lot of mystery surrounding this particular villain, but the artwork completely blew me away inside of this. If you're someone who appreciates ink on the page, you're going to love this book. And there's a lot of different styles and techniques that he uses to just make everything pop and make everything look just absolutely beautiful. One of the best looking books I've read this year, and it's a great detective Batman story. So if you've been missing that, check out this one, Gargoyle of Gotham. All right, we have a new Daredevil issue #1 out this week, and it's a hefty boy, and it doesn't really give us a whole lot of answers. Written by Saladin Ahmed and Aaron Kruder on the art, presumably. So this one is going to be kind of a confusing book if you don't know, if you haven't been reading Daredevil in a little while, because we are following this Matt Murdock character who apparently is like a father again and works at a church and is mentoring kids and doing all kinds of stuff. And so it's like, wait a minute, it wasn't like 2 issues ago Daredevil was like in hell saving his friends, and like quite literally in hell saving his friends, and he made some kind of a sacrifice, and all of a sudden we have this other Daredevil guy showing up? Yeah, that's exactly what we had happen. And there's no answers to why that happened. It's kind of like God's will. They just kind of chop it up to that. And so it was kind of confusing what's going on. Now, of course, we have Elektra still kind of playing Daredevil, hanging out in the backgrounds, making sure that Matt is okay. And what's cool about this Matt Murdock character, this version of him anyways, is he kind of has these memories of a past life in a way. So he recognizes Elektra, maybe like her essence or her smell or the feeling that she gives off when she's in his presence. And he keeps having these dreams and memories and flashbacks. And so whoever he is physically there is maybe like a reincarnation with a memory wipe, but those memories are leaking back in. It's a really kind of a weird situation. So we have a lot of that going on right now. We have some Elektra action in here. They get some kind of reconciliation between those two characters. And we see this version of Matt Murdock slipping back into the Daredevil role very slowly. And so, I mean, it was a cool book, but I remember reading it going like, okay, but like that doesn't give us a lot of answers. And I don't know if it needs to give us answers, but it's kind of a big gap in the two different stories that I would love to have them fill at some point. But I don't know. Daredevil issue #1, it didn't blow me away, but like I'm still glad we have some Daredevil going on. What do you guys think? All right, we have the Incredible Hulk issue #4. Philip Kennedy Johnson is on this one. I've been a little bit hard on this series so far because clearly I love the art in this book, and so many people have agreed with that, with Nick Klein, I believe, on that, doing that just like horrific vibe. We have Travell Foreman on here as a guest artist labeled on the credits here, and a clear art shift for sure. Still has some gnarly moments in here and everything, but like it very much looks different from the first 3 issues, which is a little bit jarring to me. I mean, I would assume if I was an editor or if I was on the staff of a book and I had the 4th issue coming out and I needed a guest artist, that I would try to pull somebody with, you know, similar styles at least. And it's like I don't know, were they even close? I don't know, maybe not, but I'm not extremely familiar with this artist. I mean, like even the coloring and the line work and everything, it's just like so different than Nick Klein, but it has those Nick Klein moments. Like you can imagine what that page would look like if he was still on the art for it. Story-wise, it's still kind of dragging, honestly, for me. I mean, we left off in our last issue with the Hulk hulking out, destroying this evil monster. It was being summoned from like the depths of hell from this weird Baptist church zombie thing, and it was really cool. And the little girl was there helping along, stomping zombies' heads and things like that. That was kind of neat. And they both kind of walked off into the sunset. Now we're back with Bruce, kind of continuing their travel through the US, and they're having this like argument about like, you know, you can't stay with me, you have to leave. Hulk is not like a good role model for you. And of course they get into some more trouble. There's still this big demon presence that's resurrecting, maybe not resurrecting, but trying to control a lot of the weird occult monsters that are around. And so we get some Man-Thing in here as well, but we also get like our standard just generic demons that pop up. And so we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And Man-Thing actually gets involved in here, which is really cool. I think at the end of the day, it's still not hitting on all cylinders for me story-wise. I want to see where it's going to go. What do you guys think of issue #4? Let me know down below. All right, we have Avengers Inc. issue #1. Al Ewing is on this one. I picked it up just because I thought it was a cool cover presumably we have Wasp, which actually is accurate. And then we have somebody on here who looks like Vision on the cover. And so I went ahead and grabbed it because I'm like, okay, cool. I like both those characters. I don't know much about Wasp. I'm not a longtime Avengers reader, but I'm MCU literate and Vision's on here. So let's see what's going on. What I came to find out pretty quickly is this is a big mystery crime detective story, and it has Wasp in here, and she's trying to figure out what's going on with all these villains that were locked up. They were presumably murdered in their cell by some like mysterious vanishing force, but gunshots to the head kinds of things. And so she kind of takes the case personally because a lot of these villains, these victims, were old like nemesis of hers. And so she's like, okay, I'll see what's going on. Everything's not quite as it seems. Were these villains really taken out? Who knows? There's a big battle that goes on, and there's a mysterious ally that pops up in this Vision role and kind of helps her rescue some folks and, keep her from getting killed by this assault that she is under right now. So, like, if you're into older Marvel characters, if you like Wasp, if you want to see her like more of in a detective role, if you want more of a crime fighting noir feelish kind of a book, I think this book is going to be for you. If you're looking for like a more modern take and story type and flow and everything, probably stay away from this one, but maybe give it a shot, see if you like it. It's not really my taste, but what do you guys think? All right, let's jump over to some indies. We have You've Been Canceled issue number 4. It's the only issue that came on time, which is great. Hopefully number 5 will do the same. But what do we have going on here? We have our team finally getting to the end boss, essentially. They're in the server room right now. They're going to shut this entire program down. They've been living this lie the whole time, been fed all this crap. It's kind of like Wanted with the head people that run that. I keep forgetting what their names are, but essentially they start using it for their own purposes to take out competition. And it wasn't really, what was it, like publicly voted execution names that they were pushing out. They were like, okay, who's going to be a strategic threat to us in the future? And we're going to use them to create content and take them out of the way at the same time. So, that whole revelation has been known right now, and it's filtering down to all their other assassins that are like the best of the best. And so now the fat, old, pudgy ruler of this entire thing is going to get his, of course, at the end. They're going to shut everything down, but they got to get through all these minions first. And it's that classic thing of like, I'm going to upload the virus, hold them back while I do that. And you see this continuous bar, trying to get to 100% while waves and waves of these guys start attacking. So it's pretty cool. Some allegiances are formed inside this book, some allegiances that were previously impossible. And so we get to see that play out. It was kind of cool. Some character redemption and everything. Artwork is crazy fun. It's just a really cool book to read. Lots of fun stuff happening in here. So make sure to check out You've Been Canceled. Get it in trade format when this is done. I think it's only 5 issues. We'll see. Check it out, though. Something Epic, issue number 5. Really cool issue. The last issue was like a lot to take in, man. It was a complete information dump, but it was nice. This issue here is a little bit more straightforward, but it does continue to layer on all these different thought processes and all these different things we should consider. And I feel like this story is extremely personal to the writer because I just can't imagine like coming up with this on your own in a way. Like, okay, what are different mindsets you would have to be through your early years, your middle years, and like maybe your adult years, and how does that view change for your perspective and like how you approach work and creativity and everything like that. I feel like you have to pull a lot of this out personally. It would be kind of interesting to see if this just kind of came out of his head naturally, or if this is more based in real experiences and of course elaborated on. But again, very dialogue heavy, lots of story being told inside of here. It's always about getting to that next stage and, really trying to understand creativity and how it can be used for good and how it can be used for evil and how, things get left in the middle sometimes. And so we're just constantly trying to evolve our character here to get ready for the next stage and how to take, responsibility for creative control and everything. And so it's a really cool book, beautifully drawn, really well done. And there's always this menace in the background. There's always this demon in the shadows that pops his head up every once in a while that just completely scares the crap out of our character. And so it's going to be interesting to see, if we learn more about the origin of that thing. And of course, really cool creative styles get mixed together in here to, just kind of switch up the view a little bit. And yeah, pretty cool, interesting. I would expect it's a pretty personal story, just kind of elaborated on in a storytelling way, but something epic, really cool book. Check it out. Kelly Thompson's The Call, issue number 2. I liked issue number 1. I wanted to read issue number 2 because it had enough to it to kind of keep me going. I'm usually a big fan of Kelly Thompson. As of late, I've been trying to pick up some more of her stuff and see what's going on. The art really blew me away in this book. I will say in this issue here, the art had its moments. It had its moments where there's certain panels where I'm like, holy crap, is that not like a photograph, but dang, that looks really, really good. I just can't even imagine what it takes and what kind of tools are used to get this kind of a view, especially from a lighting perspective. Oh my gosh, there's just so many cool things going on in the art department for here. Sometimes when you use this style, some of the faces seem almost animated-ish. And, you know, maybe that's the idea. I'm not sure. With everything else looking so realistic, that kind of thing pops out. But like, my God, there's so many cool things going on from the colors and the work and just the creativity and the world building and things like that. A lot of cool things going on. So I found myself saying like, oof, okay, that's a really cool part. From a story perspective, it's kind of falling into the trap for me where there's maybe not too many characters, but like there's no character that I care about yet. And we're on issue number 2. We have some characters, of course, that have past relationships, and this seems to be like a, hey, we're in a strange world. Nobody understands what's going on. We want to save somebody that's been missing, and we think they're in here, so let's take all these weird chances and get out there. And then this issue is like, all right, let's all start hooking up. Let's meet a weird creature, and let's give him a bracelet, and then let's hunt him down and see where he's going to take us as like a reward for giving him a bracelet. But then we're going to pause here and everyone's just going to start hooking up, and then we're going to have some kind of like scary moment at the end. So it's like, man, I don't know. What do you guys think of the call issue number 2? Didn't really go exactly where I thought it was going to go on 2 issues. I don't know if I'm going to get issue number 3, to be honest with you. Who knows? What do you guys think? All right, the Infield Gang Massacre issue number 2. Loved this book. So everything that I said about issue number 1, as far as the presentation of the book, the quality of it, the fact that it's on this like newspaper print, the way the colors, the line work, everything about the presentation of the book, carry right over to this. Blew me away yet again, even though I knew what to expect. I'm just glad that this book exists in this format. Story-wise, awesome stuff, man. It opens up with a bang. It opens up with like a chilling moment, a dude covered in blood. It's a continuation of the previous scene where like the new warden or the new marshal or whatever it is, he comes into the bar accusing the Evelyn gang that they killed this banker, and all hell freaking breaks loose in this, showing you some just amazing kinetic gunfights in this saloon. And I absolutely loved everything about it. There's some really cool, amazing moments in here where like they're just it's a constant gunfire and explosions, things like that. Lots of interesting characters. Loved everything about it. Incredible. On top of that, we get like the repercussions of that. He escapes back. He gets to his gang, and he's like, listen, they're going to come for us, so we need to prepare. And they start to try to prepare, and they get not ambushed, but there's some scenes leading up to showing kind of like how ruthless this marshal or mayor, whoever this guy is, sheriff, truly is, and it's going to be quite a little battle in the next issue. All the covers are connecting covers from what I've seen so far. I think there's probably going to be 4 or 5. I don't quite know, but the first 2 covers are going to be right next to each other, and there's going to be a couple more. If you're not on this, jump on it. If you're not reading that Texas Blood, like me, doesn't matter. Jump right into here. So far, so good. Amazing book. Check it out. So guys, that's everything I got this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below in the comments what you read and what your favorite books of the week were. While you're down there, hit the like button, check out the subscribe button and the YouTube join membership button as well. I would really appreciate it. But as always, I thank you again for watching the video. I'll see you all down below in the comments.